Good morning, everyone. Today's video is a little bit different from my usual videos. Today's video is going to be about movies to watch when the world just feels a little bit too loud, when you just want to escape anything that you're going through for a few hours. These are films that I personally love very much, and I would just love to share them with anyone who might just need a reminder that it's going to be okay, and just a reminder that there are people going through the same things as you. And I hope that these films bring you comfort like they did to me. Comfort to me is emotional resignation, emotional connection, and emotional stability. And that's what these films give me. And I would just like to share them with anyone who needs to hear that you're not alone and everything is going to be okay. So if you're feeling like the world is a bit too destructive, too noisy for you right now, these are films that I like to watch when I feel that way. And I hope you love the recommendations. So yeah. So I have my little cozy blanket here, and I'm going to have a crochet project so that we can crochet together while we talk about why these films are art and also just comforting and remind you of the beauty of humanity. Please note, this list does not include The Notebook because The Notebook is a horror film. I don't care what anyone says, that is a horror film. We do not support movies that romanticize cheating on your partner because that is never okay. And yeah, it does not include The Notebook. So any movie that you might think is in this list probably isn't. And if it is, let's be besties. So the first movie we'll be talking about is Before I Fall, which is based on a book by Lauren Oliver. So this film, for me, I watched it when I was a bit younger, and I loved the aesthetic and the overall color grading and just the world that moved into in the film. It's a very grayish, cold blue, dark green world, and all the characters are almost like pale, and it just gives this cold like feeling. So I usually love to watch this film when the weather's very gloomy and very cold outside, because it makes me feel like I'm really into the world of the film. So this movie is about a teenage girl, Samantha Kingston, and she gets into a car accident and she has to relive the same day over and over again. Wait, sorry, let me count my stitches. So the movie is about a teenage girl, Samantha Kingston, who gets into a car accident and she has to relive the same day over and over again until she realizes why she's stuck in this loop. So for me, this film made me introspect a lot about the way that I treat other people. Really makes you think about the butterfly effect, that everything correlates into a chain reaction, and everything that we do causes a chain reaction, whether it's a nice thing or it's a cruel thing. So for me, it also teaches me a lot about growth and people being able to redeem themselves. So the main themes for me in this film were redemption and time. I first watched the film when I was younger. I just loved the aesthetics of it, and I really loved the main character. I thought she was beautiful. But then when I watched it as an adult, when I watched it as a preteen, that's when I really started to see the themes of the film, and I started to appreciate the deeper meanings, and it just made me introspect a lot about the way that I treat people in my life and people that aren't even in my life. And I genuinely feel like this film made me a better person. I know that to a lot of people that might sound dramatic, but it did. I think art has a beautiful way of making us really introspect and look deep within, and I feel like a lot of people resonated with this film a lot. So yeah, this is a film that I love to watch when the weather's more gloomy and it's more cold, and you just really get submerged in that world. And when you do that, you just feel like you're living with the characters and you're truly, embodying, I guess, the aesthetic. So yeah, it's also a film that might help you feel better about like being stuck in routines and helps you get out of that loop. I feel like that's another reoccurring theme in this film. And as much as that's the main focus in the film, it also focuses a lot on time, and the time that you spend with your loved ones, the times that you spend doing your favorite things, the times that you spend with God, all of those things, you value them more after watching this film because it really makes you appreciate. My storage ran out, but anyways, I forgot where I was. But basically, it really focuses on the theme of time a lot and just appreciating the present and really finding out what really matters to you, because that's what Samantha goes through in this film, where she has to introspect and really find what the true meaning and what is really important about life in general, and what's so important about actually being alive and appreciating it while you still have it, because it could be gone literally in a second. Second movie that I'll be talking about is a 2004 movie called Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, which is another beautiful, beautiful film that is, it just has the most beautiful concept, and I love the way the visuals play into that movie as well, other than like the internal dialogue of the main character. So basically this movie is about Joe, um a really like boring man who just lives like a very normal life until he meets this very impulsive and very interesting woman called Clementine. And this movie basically focuses on their breakup. So in this world, they can go to a procedure where they can go and erase memories that they no longer want, because they're too hard to deal with. So Clementine, after they go through their breakup, actually goes for this procedure and gets Joel actually removed. And impulsively, obviously, and hurt, Joel also decides to go through this procedure to forget about Clementine and erase their memories together. So basically, in this film, we just watch as Joel goes through this relationship, and in the first start of the movie, we see the bad parts of their relationship and the times when he was annoyed by her, or the times when he drove her crazy or she drove him crazy, and it just really shows what it's like when you're going through a breakup with somebody. To deal with that pain, you would rather paint them as a bad person in your head, and you almost forget about the good times of that relationship in order to really grieve it properly. So the major themes in this movie obviously are love, loss, heartbreak, and just the emotional turmoil that you go through when you're going through a breakup. And it does it very well, very, very well. And I think anyone who has gone through a breakup or is going through one, or even just like wants to visually see what it's like to go through a breakup, should watch this film, because it is an amazing film and you'll definitely enjoy it. It has one of the most talented actors as the main cast, and it's just it's perfect. It's like it's just a perfect film, and it does a very good job at visually showing us what grief and heartbreak looks like. And the things that this film taught me as an individual is that no matter how hard you want to erase memories, they are what make us who we are, and erasing them doesn't make them just go away. And trying to forget about someone isn't really the right way to go through a breakup, it's okay to sit with that thought that you loved that person, and that's okay. And that film genuinely teaches that, and teaches you about true love, and that there's imperfections in love, and love is not always a fine line, and sometimes you need to fight for something, and even when it's imperfect. One of my favorite quotes that I actually learned from TikTok: I like you because, and I love you despite. And that is the best quote that I can use to describe this film, because I think with the world just normalizing this get over it culture, this oh on to the next, or I can always find someone better idea, and printing that in people's heads, it's very hard for people to actually emotionally connect with other people now, because they have this idea that there's always greener pastures. But no, you know, sometimes you just need to fight for that one person, because that actually might be your person, and that's okay. But because of this whole get over it culture and the rebound culture and the hookup culture, don't even get me started on that part, it's so normalized to give up on people. And I think this film is a beautiful, beautiful way of showing what it's like to truly not give up on someone that you truly love, and really fighting for someone that you care about. Maybe I'm getting really passionate because I am in love with someone, and he's my forever person, and that's never going to change. And by the grace of God, that's the person that I want to get married to one day. But removing my own subjective opinion on this film, it is a very beautiful film that I think you should watch if you're going through a breakup. And also, the color grading and the color scheme of this entire film is very grayish, bluish, like the previous film. So I would recommend watching this film when it's very dark outside, gloomy, maybe rainy. But if the weather's not like that, I think watching it at night is the perfect setting for this film, and just really submerge yourself in this world, because it's a very beautiful world, and the artist did an amazing job at showing what it feels like to go through a breakup. And I hope it brings you comfort like it does for me when stuff is a bit rough. The next film we'll be talking about is a film called If I Stay, based on the book by Gail Foreman, if I remember correctly. My sister actually had the book when we were younger, and it's a very beautiful book, but the movie is just as beautiful as the book. I'm sensing a theme here because I'm just about to describe the color grading and the color scheme of this film, and just like the other two, it's very blue and droopy and gloomy. But it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I hope no one is judging me. And I've literally only done 2 rows of double crochets. Like, I don't think I'm getting any of this project done today, but okay. But anyways, so I'm getting really up and close and personal with you guys, because I really want you guys to try these films. Like, please try these films. And like, if you have watched these films, I would love to know what you guys think about them. And please comment, engage with the video as much as you can. I would really appreciate to see all your different perspectives on these films as well. It just makes me actually feel like someone is actually watching these videos. But anyways, so the next film is If I Stay, with Chloe Grace Martinez, I think that's her name if I'm not mistaken, as the leading actress. So I forgot her name in the film, oh my gosh, but she basically gets into a tragic car accident with her family, and similar to Before I Fall, but not really. She's stuck in a coma, and she has flashbacks and memories playing of her life with her family and her boyfriend Adam, and she is forced to choose whether she wants to go into the afterlife basically with her family, or to stay and be with her boyfriend. And this film is about 2 hours long if I'm not mistaken. It's a very long film, but trust me, you won't feel the hours, because it just does this beautiful way of like really making you introspect about like what you would do in a similar situation. Would you choose life, and would you choose to carry on without your entire family, or would you actually choose to go with them into the afterlife and actually just be with your family in heaven? And yeah. So this film, for me, I love to watch it again. I hope you guys are sensing a theme. I like to watch it again when it's very gloomy, rainy outside, and it's very quiet. I love to watch this film when it's very dark and the clouds are just filled up in the sky. There's no sun. I think it's very important that I stress the type of weather you watch with these films, because it's not going to hit as much as it would if you actually watched it the way I'm saying you should watch it. Okay, so this film, this film does a very beautiful job at just making you put yourself in the character's shoes, putting yourself in the main character's shoes and what you would do in a similar situation. And it really makes you really think about life and time. Again, I think a really recurring theme in all of these films that I keep listing is time and appreciating the present, because we don't have as much time as we think we do. So really appreciating the now, and not taking advantage of every second that we have. I think we take advantage and we take it for granted that we're alive and we're breathing right now. We take it for granted that someone didn't wake up today and you did. And what are you going to do today that makes every other day not seem as different, I guess? But yeah, this is a very great film to watch when you just wanna sit and you don't really want to think, but you just want to sit and truly get into that world. I feel like I keep saying that about every film I'm listing, but it's okay. And it's just a really pretty, beautiful film with an amazing aesthetic and color grading. And anyone who appreciates color grading like I do in films and movies will love this film and the other two. The next film, I think a lot of people love this film, and it's also just a really big comfort film for me, is Me Before You. Of course, it's on this list. It's based on a book by Jojo Moyes. I feel like all of the movies that I love are based on books, and that should tell me that I need to start getting into reading. I think I would actually really enjoy it. But anyways, I'm more of a movie person, but we'll see with time. So we all know what Me Before You is, and if you don't, basically it follows a woman named Louisa Clark, and she gets a job as a caregiver for a man who's paralyzed from the neck down, called Will. The film focuses on these two basically falling in love with each other and forming a really beautiful bond over time that a lot of the audience just feels is so captivating and beautiful, because he's a very active listener person, and Louisa basically helps him break out of a little bit of his depression over being paralyzed and not being able to live like he used to live. So it's a very beautiful film about how love can sometimes not have a happy ending, but I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. I'm not. And also, it also dabbles into the theme of the very mixed debate about the use of euthanasia. And if I think I said it correctly, and if you're much younger and you don't know what that is, that's basically a medical procedure that is done on people when they don't want to live anymore, and it's called a mercy killing in sociology. And people basically tell health practitioners to end their lives because they don't want to live anymore, because they might have had a very traumatic accident happen to them, or any sort of illness that is just irreversible and causes them not to be able to live fully. So they get this procedure done to end their lives. And it really makes you think and introspect about that belief, and if that's even moral, not even just on a spiritual or Christian perspective, but just also on a human perspective. Like, do we really think that's humane to do? So this movie, I'm happy to say you can watch it when the sun is out, because it's very sunny and fun and colorful, and Louisa actually has a very interesting way of dressing, and I love her character's way of dressing because she's actually the reason why I got these really cute red tights a few years ago, because of her iconic bumblebee tights that everyone just loves to make edits about on TikTok. So yeah, if you love love and you love romance, this film is. So despite the fact that this film is more jolly and everything, it makes you face the idea that love is possession, and it makes you realize that sometimes loving someone means letting them go, even though it hurts and even though it's hard. And it's just a really amazing film. I'm trying to use any other adjective except for beautiful, but anyways, it's just a really beautiful film that can be used whenever you just want to submerge yourself in a love and romantic and beautiful and amazing movie. Like, it's a very sweet film, and I love that a lot of people love this film because I love it too, and it makes my heart flutter, and I've cried every time that I've watched it. I've watched it a total of 3 times, and I've cried every time, even though I knew the ending the second and third time I watched the film. But hey, we don't judge, we're empaths over here. But yeah, it's a very beautiful film, and I think anyone who is a hopeless romantic like me would love this film very much. The last film on this list is a movie that I used to love as a little girl. It's called Safe Haven, and it's actually based on a book by Nicholas Sparks, and of course it's a beautiful film because it's literally Nicholas Sparks. Like, anytime I see based on a book by Nicholas Sparks, I'm like, I'm locking in. I'm locking in. I'm locking in because he eats every time. But anyways, so yeah, this film follows a woman called Katie who escapes a abusive and tumultuous relationship for a better life, and she escapes to this really quiet and just like no one really knows her here and like very like quaint town, and she befriends a widowed father. I forgot his name, but basically in this town no one knows her, and she's able to start afresh. And this film for me is a very much comfort film, and just like the one before, it's very sunny and warm. It's very warm, so you can watch it when the sun is out or just a late afternoon. That's when I usually like to watch it, and it just brings me comfort because she escapes this toxic situation. And there's this really cute element in the film about grief and also guardian angels. So if you love anything to do with that, you will love this film because it shows up in the end in the most beautiful way. So yeah, it follows Katie as she escapes a traumatic and very toxic situation and just tries to rebuild her life after that. And it's just a very beautiful way in showing that it's okay. It's never, you're never wrong for choosing yourself, and it's really okay to leave when you feel like this situation is really unhealthy. And it's very okay to choose yourself and to let go when you know things are just not working out and things are just getting way out of hand and could cost you your life at the end of the day. And it has very it makes you face social issues like domestic violence and abuse and toxic relationships, because there's so many people and so many men and women in situations like this, and it really sheds light on situations like that, and not in some weird way where like the white knight comes at the end and saves her, but instead she saves herself. And that's one thing I really love about this film, is that she saved herself. She got herself out of that situation on her own, and that's my favorite part of this film, despite also with the guardian angel concept at the end. So those are all the movies. I literally only did 3 rows of double crochets, and that's okay because that was the whole point of this video. So now I'm going to get into the honorable mentions, and then we're going to wrap this movie recommendation video up. For our honorable mentions, I will list movies that I also like and find comforting, but also just movies that are also considered comfort films for a lot of people, and I know a lot of people would love them as well. The first one is Marriage Story. For me, I love movies where I feel like I'm just watching someone's life. I don't really necessarily care for plot twists that much. And if they are plot twists, like that's great. But like I am more of a person who loves watching just like a steady, not really like a climax movie, just like a steady, slow burn type of film. That's the best way I can describe it, but without the burning at the end. Just a slow burn film where I just feel like I'm watching someone's real life, where it doesn't feel like acting. I feel like I'm watching real people. Marriage Story and Beautiful Boy have a very beautiful way of showing that, and if you love films like that, those are films that I would recommend that you watch. It Apart is also a movie that I would put in my honorable mentions. And if you're a Twilight girl, I would recommend you watch New Moon when you want to just like submerge yourself in the Twilight world. I feel like that one is by far my favorite in terms of aesthetics and calmness, because it's not as filled with the vampire world and it's more of just the human world, and it's just Bella. And I love that one also because I love Jacob so much, and I love Jacob for her, and I loved watching their friendship grow and her heal in New Moon. And it by far has the best aesthetics in my opinion. I love the aesthetics of New Moon. I think, yeah, I think a lot of these films are all very comforting in their own ways, and I think that they'll meet you wherever you are in your own life, and hopefully these films bring you comfort like they have for me. And if you cry a lot during films, that's even better because these films are perfect for you. Like, just get on, take your notebook out, and I hope you wrote all of these films down because they're really good films. And that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for 623 subscribers. I am so grateful. So grateful to have grown so much this entire year, and it's just been a very beautiful journey meeting all of you in person and engaging with you in comments and DMs. You guys literally just make me feel like I'm not doing this all for nothing, and I have a little community, and it's really nice. So I hope everyone has an amazing day, and I hope that you all try out these films. And if you have watched these films before, please make sure to give your opinions and your own perspectives on these films in the comments down below. So thanks so much for watching. Bye everyone.